At the top half of the Premier League table, Liverpool up into fourth there, 3 points back of the league leaders, Spurs. As I was mentioning, Stevie, a pretty good week on the field for Liverpool. 3 games, 10 goals, and 3 wins in 8 days.
And you know what? When we're talking about people like Arteta complaining about rest and games and this and that, that's the type of week you need. No stress, nice and comfortable. You can play the resis in one of the games. On you go. Take your points and march on.
And
Easy peasy.
And there's enough teams in the Premier League, right? Particularly when you're playing at home, that are bad enough that you can do that. You know, when all these managers talk about, oh, there's no easy games, but there is. There is quite a few in the Premier League if you look at some of the sides. So, I mean, that was so easy for Liverpool today. But they're, you know, the good thing for them is, you know, Núñez is getting his goals, and Stevie and I were talking about, all right, it was Nottingham Forest, but Szoboszlai's been he's just a Rolls Royce in there. So and McAllister, the more games he gets, and the more he gets up to speed, it's looking, you know, it's looking like they could make a challenge.
Szoboszlai with a couple of assists, I believe his first for the club. He got the man of the match. Stevie, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I said it previously. He was, not just in this game, but since the start of the season, he has been silky smooth. Always seems to make the right decision. When he plays a pass, it's to the right spot with the right pace. I mean, he's even scoring goals from 30 yards. So far, this guy, no question, has been absolutely world class.
You touched on depth. They got 4 games in the next 12 days, so another brutal stretch coming up. You at all worried with this team?
No, not right now.
Yeah.
No. When you see when he makes a lot of changes midweek in the Champions League that they can still perform and still create and score goals, then, as I said, with all these managers complaining about
Europa
games,
League
doesn't matter. But they make it easy. The important
He's ignoring
thing,
the fact they're not in the Champions League this year. That's what it is.
the important thing is they're doing it with ease and without any stress, and they're making it look like training exercises. They probably put more work in training than they have done in these last couple of games. So, ideal. Just keep it rolling along.
Nadim, quick question for you. Who do you see as the biggest threat to Manchester City from a title perspective? Is it Liverpool? Is it Arsenal? Is it Spurs?
Do you know what? I think I'd say Liverpool, but it's not to say that Arsenal and Spurs aren't in the mix. But for me, through this season, obviously Liverpool, they started off quite well. Then there was that half against Newcastle where we're wondering what's going on. But I think the reaction against Newcastle, and then as well, even in the loss to Spurs, when they went down to 10 players, they still had an energy like I fully believed they were going to win that game. And with the 9, they were holding out until the last second. And that's the Spurs side that were top of the league and, you know, very much buoyant and playing at home. So I think Liverpool are the real deal. Salah is well and truly alive. And some of the signings they've had so far are looking like they're very, very good as well. So I believe it will be Liverpool. But it's nice to see that there's a bit of a challenge at this point of the season.
Liverpool then 3-0 winners over Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa winners as well, 3-1 at Villa Park against Luton Town. Unai Emery's got his boys 5th in the table, and actually this is what the table would look like if we just took into account games since Unai Emery took over at Aston Villa. They'd be a top 4 team. It really is, Craig, remarkable.
Remarkable.
What are you laughing at, Stevie?
I mean, what's really remarkable?
Well, you can get your stats and you can twist them left,
I mean,
right,
this is
centre,
impressive. You
up,
can't
down,
make the case
around the corner.
Wow.
And oh, by the way, they could be top of the league if we only played 3 games in the last.
I tell you what,
10 days they'd be top of the league.
So you're not impressed with what's happening at Aston Villa?
Well, yeah, of course I am, but it's a little early to start talking about.
Well, but it's not just
forward.
this season. It's basically what he's done since he got there. There's a measure of consistency there.
Agreed. But as I said, if you want to get your stats and twist them to suit what you want,
okay,
to say what's going to happen, then get after it.
Seb with his noted pro Aston Villa ways.
No, they've done a... No, look. I'm the same. When I see that, sometimes I go, well, that's not the way it is.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that Villa are particularly happy that they've got hold of Unai Emery. There's no doubt about that.
And can I remind you, when Steven Gerrard took over, they went on a great run as well. So that's why I'm saying calm down.
35-game run is the sample size that we were looking at. So different for Unai Emery, right?
Okay.
Nadim, do you want to say something nice about Aston Villa since nobody here does?
Yeah, Joe, why not?
Doesn't
Why
matter.
not? Yeah, Yeah, when Unai Emery took over, I think Villa were in 17th. So I think the fact that he's coached those players and they've found more form, got a style of play, like I'm hearing from some Villa fans that this is the best version of Villa they've seen in the Premier League era, which says a lot considering in the past they have finished 5th, 6th, 7th and so on. But they're doing really well. Obviously against Luton at home, it's one thing or the other, but a bigger stat for you, they've won 12 games in a row at home. And I think that says a lot about them because that shows they're definitely heading in the right direction.
All right, Aston Villa under Unai Emery, 3-1 win against Luton Town that has them right now 5th place in the Premier League, 1 point back of Liverpool in 4th.